Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
So I listened to this audio this morning, and I wasn't completely thinking she was in the wrong. This mom on TikTok, she was talking about some of her parenting rules.
In my house, at the age of 13, you're allowed to cuss, as long as you use it in the proper context and you do not disrespect adults. And yes, you will say ma'am and you will say sir. You will be respectful. At the age of 16, they're required to get a job, a driver's license, and then they have to start paying rent, in which I will save it until at whatever point they decide that they want to move out. I'll return all the rent they've paid to me over the months or over the years, and they'll have a nice nest egg to start.
I love that idea.
Really?
I don't mind that. I think if, like, once they're 18, then you're like, now you're out in the world. Why not prep them? Like Dr. Phil says, prepare them for the next chapter of their life. So when they turn 9, you want to start preparing them for 10 to 11, 16 to 18. Those 2 years are going to go by so fast. And if Liam has a job at the local golf club,
you're going to collect 24 months of rent from your 16-year-old? No, you're not.
And then give it right back? Absolutely.
What's rent go for at your place?
If he is going to get the lower level, which is bigger than my first apartment.
So what's he got, like 800 square feet down there?
It's a good size. He's going to have a bedroom, a bathroom,
a bar,
a full living room, a bar area.
Washer dryer access?
Washer dryer access.
Does he get to park in the garage?
Oh my God, I'm saying this out loud.
Does he get to park in the garage?
Yes, he'll have a third stall. So
all this for how much?
I would say $150 a month.
But that's unrealistic.
But no, that's going to add up.
If somebody knocked on your door today and said, I want to rent your basement, what would you charge?
He's not an average
What would
Joe.
you charge? That's what you got to do.
No, that's not what you have to do.
It's not $150 a month. That's unrealistic.
And she's not charging her kids $600 a month. She's not
charging
doing
them
that.
$1,000.
No.
See, and this is what my wife and I had this fight too. And she goes, hey, if they're going to be athletes and they're going to be scholars, we got to make sure that jobs are third for them.
And I agree with that. I agree with school comes first, and then sports are going to fall in line. You need something to fall back on.
Or whatever your extracurriculars are, yeah.
But you are going to have a job. You cannot not have a job in high school. I had 2 jobs in high school.
And look what happened to you.
I am I'm amazing human being. And I look at my kid, and he's pretty rad. And so I think if you just keep, I don't know. I am not mad at her.
Rent. This is obscene.
I'm not disagreeing with what she's saying. I'm not going to take all of his money. He still has to have fun and be a kid.
I'm fine for at 18, then you start paying rent or you go away to college.
And then he gets, what, $2,400 if he chooses to leave at 18. Here's $2,400. I love you. Or it'll be more than that if it's $100.
Anybody else subscribing to this? Will you call us real quick?
Or am I too harsh? I have been told on several occasions over the last 3 weeks that I'm a harsh parent.
A horrible parent? Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. I saw a billboard.
A different H. A harsh parent. And I don't think so, but I do believe in getting them ready.
There is no way.
Ready.
There is no way. I want to take calls on this too, because I can guarantee, and somebody write this down and archive this audio, because your son is, he's almost 11.
He's 10. He'll be 10.
He's only 9 right now?
Yes.
Oh, well, he's almost 10. You're telling me, though, in 6 years, you're going to make him start paying rent? And if the rent is due on the first of the month or out you go?
It's called responsibility.
You're such a poser.
You're the one that told the story. You buy your kid this expensive bat, and he won't even take out the garbage. You told that story on air.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened.
Okay, you got to get it together.
But I didn't threaten him. I didn't say you.
I'm not threatening him. I'm not going to put my kid out on the street if he doesn't pay.
Yeah, so what's the reason? Why would he pay?
You know what we'll do? We'll do 10% of your paycheck.
That's such a great way to learn about the real world. I know a lot of landlords I've had that are like, here's an extremely low rent. It's not street value. And then pay me a little if you want. Otherwise, you can keep living here if you want.
Answer these phone calls because they're on my side. I guarantee
they're not. My friend Kat here claims that when her son Liam turns 16, she's going to follow this woman we were talking about and start charging him rent at about $150 a month. If he can't come up with the rent, that's okay. But if he does come up with the rent, then when he turns 18, she's going to give him all the money back. This is stupid.
Someone texted that teens have enough stress. They don't need to pay rent as well. So you just want, I get it. They're teens. They live their life. But guess what? 18, that stress hits them right away. If they're going to be moving out at 18, they can't just like hit a wall and not know what to expect. I'm not taking all of his money. I want him to have a great time, go to concerts, have fun, but you pay me 10% and you can have the whole basement. It's all yours. It's brand new.
10% of what?
10% of whatever he makes. He's going to have a job.
You're going to
can't
make
not
your
have
son,
a job.
You're gonna make your son. So he might. Okay. So at one point he might be going to school, playing ball, trying to hit the dean's list or the student council or whatever like that, and you're going to make him still work 30 hours a week and tithe you?
Listen,
Jesus.
whatever is going to work into his schedule, he can have a job on Sundays. Work the whole Sunday.
So he works the whole Sunday. He's
There's
making
the one day.
$15 an hour. He does 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon as a waiter.
Pay
and you're
and then I save it. And guess what? Here's a great envelope of all this money.
You're such a poser. You're trying to be such a hard ass right now, but you will never make your son give you money when he comes home
If
from
you
his
ask
part-time
Derek,
job.
I absolutely will, because saving money is so important. My mom tried to instill that in me, but didn't harp on me as much as I harp on Liam. And I think it's going to benefit him. Casey sent us a screenshot on Snap, and she said, my 17-year-old Larissa pays 15% of her paycheck. She showed a screenshot of the rent in her bank account, $1,300 already at 17.
Amber, please don't tell me you're agreeing with this nonsense.
Yes, I'm sorry, I do.
Okay.
I don't think that it has to be like that much, but like Kat said, 10% of whatever they're making, even if it's $50, give me 10, we'll put it away, and they have something to fall back on.
Yes. Like, how exciting to have all that money when you're that young and you move out. And then
And everything is so scary and
Yes.
big at that time.
And you have
Yes, I agree.
options. You have options in life. When you have money, you have options.
Precisely.
So
A little bit more than what we have, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Well, I think you're wrong, Amber, but I hope you have a good day.
Well,
Wow.
I'm sorry, JJ.
Amber, it's my show. Don't worry about
it.
it.
You have a great day as well. Thanks, Kat. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Bye. Tony, is this stupid or what?
Actually, I think that's very smart because she's going to start teaching them about money, which the educational system only gives you like maybe 1 or 2 courses on it, and then they don't really touch on it anymore. And I also had an ex-girlfriend that didn't know how to take care of her money. So when we actually finally moved in together, she had no idea what to do. So I had to step up and be the parent for the both of us to make sure we survived through our couple of years living together.
So what I want to say, that's a perfect example. What I want to say to all the moms out there that have daughters, you're welcome that I'm raising my kid like this.
God.
You're going to have one fine boy.
You're now taking
joining
credit
his
for
family.
all the good male youth?
For my son, absolutely. Like, he's going to know exactly what to do.
All right. Hey, Tony, I appreciate your call. And let's talk to Heather real quick, because, Heather, you sound smart. You don't agree with this.
Sorry, I do.
Jeez.
Why is everyone apologizing for siding with me? It's okay to, like, be right. It's okay.
Well, no, see, we never did the rent thing with our kids, but I actually think it's a good plan. But with our kids, when they get their license, they have to pay for their behind the wheel. They have to pay for all that. They go get their license. They want a vehicle. They have to buy their vehicle. They have to pay for all the maintenance, the fuel, insurance, everything else. And so I think it teaches them how to budget. You only spend within your means, and then you're not going to struggle.
Yeah.
His father and I, we've always kind of been a paycheck to paycheck type of family, and we didn't want our kids to have to go through that. So
yeah, I agree with you. And I don't agree that you're an adult when you're 18. I think when you get behind the wheel and you're in this like huge metal machine and you could kill me and my family behind the wheel, you're an adult. Like, this is time to grow up and know what life's all about.
Heather, what do you do when your son or your daughter, they buy their car and they got their insurance and everything like that, and then they hit one of those huge potholes and they don't have an extra $2,300 to make that maintenance? Do you float them that money, or do you make them walk until they get it?
take the bus.
Wow.
Take the bus. See, I'd help with that because I don't want to drive anywhere.
We've chipped in a little bit here and a little bit there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with assisting your children, but we're not going to give them the whole $2,300. It's going to be, okay, take the bus, get a ride with a friend,
yep,
and save your money. But luckily, our youngest has been very good at, he decided to start working at 8 doing lawns and stuff, and he begged us at 10 for a savings account because
that's amazing.
We taught him financial responsibility.
Yep.
So in turn, because of this, anytime he's had a major thing, he's had either all the money or almost all the money. And so we don't have a problem with that. as far as floating him the money, but usually it's a loan, a no-interest loan, but it's still a loan, and then it just goes into his savings, and he doesn't know that.
With the amount of text messages that are on my side, this is like going to be an awesome generation. Like, we have a really good, responsible generation coming up.
Tom Brady has decided, well, after 40 days of retirement, I don't think this is going to fit. I'm going to come back. And now, and so there was so much speculation in the offseason of what are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to do for a quarterback. And nobody really talked. And next thing you know, Brady has decided, I'm back.
Okay.
After 40 days. So what's trending today is, what do you want to do when you retire? You talk about your dad hitting retirement and became more busy than he ever was when he was working.
That's a Clark guy for you, though. His brothers, they will call people up to see if they need a ride anywhere. Just randomly call people.
Not
hey, do
when
you
the
need
gas
a ride
prices
to the
are
VA
like this anymore.
I don't know. They just toot around town. They go have their guys' breakfast at Sparky's, and they're living their best life.
So what do you want to do when you retire? Let's say you actually could ever make enough money at this job to retire. What would you want to do, Kat?
I would go stir crazy without working. Like, this last week was nice, but I think I would go stir crazy. So I would be a lunch lady for a few hours a day. I would love that. More sloppy joes. But by that time, I guarantee it's just going to be a vending machine. The tray's going to come down. The kid's going to pick their lunch option. Or I'll drive Derek's golf cart while he golfs.
There it is. That's a good one.
I don't mind that, and just getting a little cocktail and tooting around the golf course.
I think that's my angle. I think I want to get up in the morning. I'll get a quick workout in, hit the golf course maybe, and then still probably keep coaching high school baseball. I think that would continue to fill my cup.
Okay.
But I'd be all done by 7 or 8 o'clock at night, sit by the pool, have a cigar and a cocktail. That's you living your best life.
I think so.
But listen, as much as I love broadcasting from St. Cloud, Minnesota, I won't die here. I need you to understand that when I die, it'll be someplace warm. Or if I die in Minnesota, it'll be during June or July. Okay. But I gotta get someplace warm. I can't keep doing these Minnesota winters when I'm old like that.
Is it an old bones thing? Because the older people get, they just want to go somewhere.
Tired of putting on boots and mittens and hats and warming up your car and So, what do you want to do when you retire?
So weird.
Weird stuff. Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird?
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
You know what? I'm not worried about dumb people anymore. I'm not worried about them. They're gonna tattle on themselves like these dumb YouTubers did. They snuck into a Pennsylvania Target store and went live with it. And then they were surprised when they got caught.
Target is about to close, you guys. We're about to spend the night in Target. I don't know if it's just a fine if we get arrested. I don't really know.
And officers are searching in this dark store and suddenly at 3 o'clock in the morning come upon somebody. That's not a great situation for anybody.
That was Saucy and Honey, by the way. You can find their YouTube page.
You know what they did? They watched
Smash that subscribe button.
They watched that Walmart baby movie and decided this was a good idea.
Are you blaming this on Natalie Portman?
Yeah, I think it's Natalie Portman's fault.
What it all boils down to.
What was the baby's name? Americus? Is that what it was? It's her fault, man.
Don't give you ideas.
No, never once in my entire life
me
I went,
neither.
I'm going to camp out in Costco for the night.
That's crazy. That is what's weird.
Radio Paparazzi.
I know he has some mental health issues. He's been open and honest about the fact that he has bipolar disorder, that sometimes he just doesn't feel like taking his pills. With Kanye West doing more Instagram videos. This one was about the string of text messages that are supposedly from Pete Davidson laying in bed with your wife. With his selfie. But he said laying in bed with your wife, and Kanye just does not appreciate it.
At this point, it's going too far. The boyfriend texts me, antagonizing me, bragging about being in bed with my wife. I've been dragged and how she's not my wife. She don't have her last name. And now he texting me, talking and bragging about how he's in bed with my wife. And I'm like, well, who's watching my children?
Shut up.
And I thought this wasn't my wife no more legally. I go and get the lawyer, change the lawyer so we can finally do the divorce, and then somehow I'm the one that's the stalker.
I love how he's like, who's watching my kids? Well, they're probably in bed. They're probably sleeping while their mom is down the hallway sleeping. with her new boyfriend.
I just don't know why you got to take it to the gram at that point. Isn't this like a family thing?
But if you go onto his Instagram, which I sadly had time to last night and just watched video after video, and I have another one coming up with next hour's paparazzi that involves North, and it's too far. It goes too far. Hailey Bieber, a very scary moment for her. Over the weekend, she was released from the hospital after being admitted with a stroke-like symptom situation after finding a blood clot on her brain.
She absolutely did the right thing. We all know the typical symptoms of a stroke, which can include sudden numbness or weakness on one side of the body, but I want to help clarify some other important symptoms. And they can include sudden changes in vision, sudden changes in speech, if you have a sudden or severe headache, or if you have a sudden or acute dizziness. If you have any of these symptoms, it's important to get help. Call 911.
Anything happening with your brain, there is, they say, one thing to follow. It's called FAST. So when it comes to your face, smile and see if one side of your face drops down. The A is for arms. Raise both arms. Does one arm drop on its own? S is for speech. So that would be an easy one to spot if you're doing like a short phrase and you're slurring your speech, having strange speech. And then T, time. If the answer is yes to all those, you don't have any more time. You have to call 911. So see something, say something. If you have somebody in your life or right in front of you that's happening to, that's scary. Drake and Jack Harlow, they were at a trip to Turks and Caicos at a resort. And we all know those resort entertainers. And this guy was phenomenal. He's saying Drake's "Hold On, We're Going Home" and blew him out of the water.
Tell them your name. Tell them what you do here, by the way. That's the best part.
I know, right? My name is Gennaro Laporte, and I'm the entertainer here. I'm a singer and sax player at the Grace Bay Club.
Your rendition of "Hold On, We're Going Home" actually made me a little self-conscious. That blew me out of the water too.
So the compliments also came with $20,000. Drake just pulls it right out of his pocket. Isn't that cool? And
Imagine
he's like
rolling with $20,000 in your pocket
and hanging with Drake for most of the night. He's like, "What's your deal?" He's like, "I have 3 kids. I perform here." And Drake was just like interested. And that was such a cool moment. Blowing out their candles today, we have Steph Curry, 34, which now you can buy his wife's shoe line on Shoe Dazzle. So go check that out. Simone Biles is 25. It is the start to my birthday week. I don't know if you want to write that down, but then Quincy Jones is 89 today.
We've got email. We've got email. Got email. Got email. We've got email.
Good morning, guys. I know you occasionally read emails, so I thought I'd drift one your way and get your thoughts on this. My husband wants to go to Ukraine to fight. He's retired Special Forces. He's been working construction for the last 4 years and doesn't love it like he did being in the military. I was so relieved when he retired and hated the constant anxiety every time he was deployed. But during that time, I knew he was doing it for our family and for his country. This I didn't get. This trip to the Ukraine, I don't get because he's doing it for neither.
Yeah.
He says he wants to go because it's just the right thing. He feels like God has put him on this planet to be a soldier and to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. I don't want to stand in the way of life's purpose, but I also feel like I need to stand up for my family and that I may never see him again if he goes. Would you let your husband go if you were me? Interested to see what people think. Okay. April.
Listen, I have never been in the military. I have a lot of family members that have been, and there is something to the notion that when you come home, it doesn't feel like home anymore, and that your duty in life is bigger than what the general public feels it is. And that's why we have such great men and women that go out and do what us here at home can't do. So I understand that yearning that he wants to go help. That's a soldier.
What would you say to your husband right now if he said, "Guys, I'm going to Ukraine. I'm going to grab a gun. I'm going to stand up for these people that can't stand up for themselves"? What would you say?
I'd probably be selfish. And I think at this point, I think she has the luxury to be a little selfish with her feelings. She has been a military wife for a long time. She has given up. Spouses give up a lot as well. So these are both, I think, valid feelings that they're having. He wants to go fight for our freedom and help, not our freedom, but help out the people in Ukraine. That's a soldier. But then she has that fear. Like, that's what military spouses live with.
What do you
every
sign up
single
for
day.
first, being a daddy or being a soldier?
Well, if you get married first, you sign up for that.
So I thought it was kind of a tricky question, and I guarantee everybody's got a first thought on it. So will you hit us up real quick? Let me read you this email real quick. April emailed us, said, guys, I know you read some of these on the air. I'm interested to see what your listeners think. My husband wants to go to Ukraine to fight. He's retired Special Forces, been working construction for the last 4 years. Doesn't love it like he did the military. I was really relieved when he retired, hated the constant anxiety every time he was deployed. But during that time, I knew he was doing it for our family and for his country. But this I don't get because he's not doing it for either. He says he wants to go because it's the right thing, and he feels like God put him on this planet to be a soldier and to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. I don't want to stand in the way of his life's purpose, but I also feel like I need to stand up for my family, and I may never see him again if he goes. Mm-hmm. Would you let your husband go if you were me?
Very valid. She has every right to feel that way, and he has every right to feel his way. I'm very much in the middle of this because I would not want a loved one going into battle ever. But I've never been on the front lines that know that brotherhood.
Right.
You know? So
but you're going over there without knowing anybody. You're literally going to
not really.
Gonna land.
There are a lot of U.S. forces over there. So I'm
odds
sure
of you knowing somebody that's over there after you've been retired this long are very slim. I'm stuck as somebody who loves my family more than anything, but also somebody that says, you don't know what your life purpose probably is until it's almost too over. You know what I mean? Like, if you can go over there and help somebody that doesn't have a chance, right? Isn't that kind of what you're supposed to be here for?
I don't think going into battle means you don't love your family at all.
You could be here supporting them, hugging them, taking them to baseball practice.
That's true.
You know, that's
then
where
you
I'm
live
torn.
with that. I could be doing something bigger than myself.
Christina, what are you thinking? If this was your husband, would you tell him to go, or would you say, hey, your spot is here?
Well, I don't think it's a black or white answer. I think it's a gray answer. But I think the answer is somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't
go to
not do anything,
Italy?
and you don't go over there. You find some way for him to stay with his family and safe so that he can be here for his family, but also be able to use his skills to help out.
Yeah.
We're getting a tremendous amount of people who are texting saying, go, get him, be a hero.
Which I think it's easier.
I really think it's the middle ground because you have a responsibility to your family, too.
So what do you think
who
you
else
can...
is going to fill your shoes?
Yeah, what do you think you can do here,
in that
though?
family?
You know, besides making praying and making a financial contribution, what do you think you can do here?
I'm sure with his resources being former military, he's got some options.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, I mean, hit up your VA or some of the people you used to serve with. There's probably a couple avenues in which you can help with intelligence or something like that.
And chances are he can find a way to be more involved than most people would, at a level that would be fulfilling for him.
Mm-hmm.
You're very level-headed.
Being here every day for his family.
Walgreens. I don't know if you've been into one lately and have seen what their fridge doors look like. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't like this because when you open them, what is on the screen is not inside.
Someone explain this to me, right?
Man, what if you're sold out of something and it doesn't register? If only there was a way that we could see inside of a freezer, you know, like a glass door.
We're creating this hybrid experience, right?
Oh, yeah.
You are shopping in a physical store and all the best that comes with it, but you get the benefit of, as if you're shopping online, of having all this richness of information and content and interaction.
Well, I just want to know if you have broccoli.
Exactly. I know that you like your tech stuff, but this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of because they have all of the drinks stocked, on the video, and then you open it and there's like a couple of drinks in there. What's the point?
I thought it was more like the refrigerators now where you can you can log in to certain refrigerators on your phone and see what's in there. So if you're
the
ordering
smart fridges, I get that.
I thought it was more like that. I thought it reflected what was inside and like it had a camera.
The video screen of all the drinks, and then you're like, oh, I would love a Diet Coke.
A little bit of false advertising.
Nothing in there, no Diet Coke. All right, so if you're looking for something to do this summer and you're into the supernatural UFO world, guess what? They found the states that you're most likely to find an unidentified flying object or an alien walking around.
Otherwise known as the Wacko States.
California, followed by Florida, and then Washington.
Wait, they all have legalized marijuana, right?
Oh, maybe.
I think so. I think that's your common theme right there.
Maybe. Florida does?
No. I think it does.
Really?
Maybe not.
Oh, I didn't smell any down there when I was down there. But
you're not smelling hard
anyway, I'm very surprised that Nevada is not on that list, right? Like, don't people go into the middle of the desert and they swear up and down that they were probed? Or was that just Vegas?
That was just you and your girls.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And that is the 4 before you hit the door.
My son and I share a backpack when we fly.
Why?
We've had a pair of scissors that he had in the backpack make it through security 4 different times over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And then he got stopped in Mexico, and the woman pulls him out. We're leaving Mexico, and the woman pulls the scissors out, and she goes, "What were you thinking?" And he goes, "I don't know." And she looked at me, and she goes, "Why do you have these?" I go, "Honestly, it's his backpack."
Right under that bus you throw him.
But I couldn't believe it. Yeah, and they're scissors. They're like regular, like office-size scissors.
Yeah.
That got through security like 3 or 4 times.
No, I get it. I went to Canada a couple of times, went to Maui, went to the Party Plane to Paradise. I had a butter knife in a hidden compartment, which looks sus right there. And they find it like on my 8th time out of the country.
I think security's getting more lax. And here's why. On the way out of Minneapolis, they do the explosive sniffing dog, where you got to walk across, and then the dog goes behind you to make sure that there's no explosives. And then once we got to the security line, shoes on, they go, just shove everything in your bag. Didn't matter. You didn't have to take liquids out. Nothing. They just zapped you right through, and you were. I mean, it was scary. It was 14 seconds worth of security. And my wife made a good point. She goes, "I think it's because the dog is working the line. I bet if there's not a dog in the line, I bet security takes a lot longer." Because they make you take everything out.
Yeah.
But I bet you, now think about that. Maybe they're not super concerned that you've got a butter knife anymore. Or maybe they're not super concerned that you've got gels or liquids that are more than 3 ounces if that dog doesn't smell any explosives.
Okay. I would rather have them sniff for explosives over drugs. I really don't care if you have cocaine on you.
Listen,
it's not that big of a deal to me.
8-ball up your butt, that's on you, man.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm all about
we're going to go for there.
Radio Paparazzi.
All right, Kanye back at it again on Instagram, this time just uploading so many videos of him ranting about Kim not getting their kids to Sunday service. And then, of course, the whole TikTok situation.
Hey, everybody. I just got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing. I said it's never again. I am her father. I said I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok, to be used by Disney. I have a say-so.
And so does she. And I just feel like she's letting her daughter have a creative outlet. Who doesn't push and promote creativity more than Mr. Kanye West? And I follow North on TikTok as well. And she does not do anything. And she has to run everything by Kim before she posts. And Kim is in all of the TikToks. So it is just seeming like he wants to parent from afar.
I feel like the whole thing should be a private matter. Like, you should be talking about it with your wife, not to a couple million followers.
Right. Jaquai Smollett, that is Jesse's brother. Jesse, if you don't remember, he staged a hate crime where he was taken by these 2 brothers and they were wearing MAGA hats, and he said that they were white, and in all actuality he knew both of the guys from a set of a show that he was doing. But he has now been sentenced to 150 days in jail for being found guilty of faking that hate crime.
So Jesse is currently in a psych ward at Cook County Jail. What's very concerning is that there was a note attached to his paperwork today and put on the front of his jail cell saying that he's at risk of self-harm. I want to just make it clear to folks that he is in no way, shape, or form at risk of self-harm. And he wants to let folks know that he is very stable, he is very strong, he is very healthy and ready to take on the challenge that ultimately has been put up against him.
So he feels like he's a target and someone will kill him in jail, and then it'll be chalked up to him being suicidal. So he just wants to get the word out there that he's not. Hillary Duff, she's like living my life, but in Hollywood. She is taking her son, or she took Luca, who is about to turn 10, to Justin Bieber. I'm doing that in May when I'm so excited for this. But he fell asleep at the concert.
It was so much fun. And he was falling asleep on my shoulder during the album songs. And then when the hits would come on, he would pop up and be like, yes. And I'm like, this is dreams. I'm so happy.
I can't wait. All right, blowing out their candles today. Simone Biles is 25. Chris Klein is 43. Taylor Hanson from the Hanson Brothers is a year away from 40.
Wow.
And Billy Crystal is 74. I saw this video of Rod Stewart this morning, and it was so funny because he's out with other rich men from his neighborhood, and they are filling in potholes on a road near his home.
An ambulance for the first time. My Ferrari can't go through here at all. Me and the boys thought we'd come and do it ourselves.
What did he say? It's
My
bad
Ferrari.
for Ferraris?
They're all like, they all nod in agreement. Like, yes, all of these rich men, our Ferraris will bottom out.
How many times have you thought about getting a wheelbarrow full of asphalt and filling in some of the potholes in your neighborhood, though? I've thought about it 1,000 times.
Like, our area is fine. We have a new development, but like Third, I hate Third. I hate it. Like, I live in Clear Lake, and I would pay St. Cloud taxes to get Third fixed because that's going to be the death of my car. Driving to Target.
I don't know why they just don't let people in homeowners associations do this.
Because they might not do it correctly. Is there a correct way to do it?
Incorrectly fill in a pothole?
I don't
Tell me
know.
that. You get some asphalt in you get some asphalt, and I'm not talking rectum trouble. You get some asphalt in a wheelbarrow, and you mix it down, and you pour it in there.
Yeah.
This is. Listen, I'm not the smartest guy on the tree.
Yeah.
But this doesn't seem like they should tell us not to do this.
I have come up with so many new swear words driving down that road. I hate it. And then I hate Division. I don't want to drive on Division because then it's just like start and stop and start and stop.
I would even buy the beer. I would buy a case of beer. I would round up 3 of my neighbors. I'd say, guys, everybody grab a wheelbarrow full of asphalt.
Yeah.
Get the biggest potholes first this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Then next weekend, we're going to get the little ones. And then anything we miss the third weekend. That's it.
Right.
It all be done.
Is there something we're missing? Do you work for the highway, the roads department? Is there something that we're missing? Why is this not like...
Do we have a rover on Mars right now?
Why do we have to do it every year?
Well, it's because of the flex. It's the cold, the cold, the heat, the cold, the heat. But my question is, how are we putting rovers on Mars?
Yeah.
We can't figure out one template for a road that doesn't flex this much?
Yeah. I don't want that joke every spring. I don't care for the joke of filling in potholes.
I'm not looking to take away jobs from the guys that work for the department. I'm sure there's other things to find for y'all to do. But why can't we figure this out yet?
Right. I want it, maybe an alert. This could be a PSA moment. Where is the worst pothole road that you know of?
Oh, it's Cooper. It's absolutely Cooper. If you get past Coburn's on Cooper and you're going to go towards Calvary's, the cemetery, and back down, going up the hill, I lost 2 kids.
You did?
They were buckled in with the door shut and the windows up, and they both fell out of my car.
Oh, God.
Going up that. And Kiana said, by the way, guys, you can get a huge fine for filling in potholes.
Good to know.
Who's going to fine me, by the way?
Who is going to fine him?
Is that a cop thing? The cop rolls up as you and your friends are shoveling asphalt into giant craters in the road and goes, guys, sorry, that's going to be $250.
We are not in any way encouraging you to hit the road right now with cement. No, he's not. He is not.
Why can't you pour sand in it?
But why are we going to get fined for helping other motorists out and making sure that their tires don't bottom out or their Ferraris don't get ruined?
When they did the landscaping in my backyard, they had this really fine sand. And they poured it in between all the cracks of the bricks, right? Mm-hmm. And then they sprayed it down, and that stuff hardened to hold all the bricks in place. We can't just have one truck with all that sand pouring it into the road and then somebody behind them with a little sprayer.
There's got to be an answer to this.
Why are we the only ones thinking about this?
Where's the worst road out there? We got to know so we can avoid it, obviously.
Or I can get my band of merry beer-drinking
gentlemen
neighbors.
There you go. The Moped Mafia.
Oh.
You're on it. Can you imagine hitting a pothole on your moped? Oh, man.
A couple things. Number 1, we're not encouraging you to go fill in potholes.
I believe
that's on your own.
Said you were.
I said I would. I didn't say you should. Again, if I jump off the bridge, you shouldn't jump off the bridge. Like, I'm going to take this into my own hands this year. My neighborhood it's obnoxious.
It's pretty bad.
I got 0 issues getting 3 or 4 of my neighbors together, getting some asphalt, and throwing it into the big holes. One is we have a community mailbox at the end of our development, where there's all those little mailboxes, right? And there are 2 giant potholes there. Like, you could lose a baby stroller in one of them.
Yeah.
And they never get filled in. Like, not even when the city comes through. So I'm not saying do it, but somebody else texted in, guys, there are heavy fines here. But remember, finable by law just means legal with a fee.
Alex texted, we're looking for the worst places that you'll find potholes in the area because we don't want you to go to. So I said Third. JJ said Cooper.
Oh, Cooper's the word.
Alex said veterans is pretty bad. My wife's tire popped there last spring, and it's always the same. Maggie says 2 years ago, my husband was fined for filling in some by our house with the extra cement that he had from work. It was $45 per pothole, and he ended up doing 7 of them. That's a lot of money.
Cement isn't the way to go. Otherwise, all our roads would be cement.
Then what are they doing? Asphalt.
It's got to be asphalt. It's got to be something like that. Or that, like I said, there's a sand, like a fine sand that I know landscapers use. And then once once you hit water with it, it turns into like a gluey, cementy kind of thing. I think that would be the answer. But it seems that you'll hit about, I don't know, halfway through April, and you'll see the truck around, and it goes really slow, and you got the couple of guys on the truck. And then next thing you know, May, there's more potholes. June, there's more potholes. I never see that truck after that.
Is there a reason why nobody from MnDOT is calling? I just feel like you have secrets. And
is it job security?
It has to be.
I don't have a problem with that because I understand it's in almost every industry that if you do something absolutely perfect the first time, people don't rebuy, right? It's the same thing. They made 60 years ago, a guy made a motor that ran on water. You wonder why that's not in every car right now? Because the government makes a couple of pennies off the gas, right?
Michelle kind of agrees with you. She says Traverse Road off Cooper.
Oh.
So is that by your house?
Yeah, it's on the other side, but it blows my mind that we don't have this fixed. How is it 2022 and we got potholes?
Yeah. Just let us know.
Let's begin now.
See if I remember how this thing works.
Yeah.
Been a minute. Welcome into the KCLD Playhouse. What I miss.
What did you miss?
What I
was gone too.
I know, but I think you were probably connected. Like I haven't watched a minute of television.
That's good.
I haven't spent probably more than 10 minutes on social media for the last week.
Yeah.
We still Ukraine thing. That's a thing still. They're still invading the Ukraine.
Oh my
Are
God.
they holding them back? What's the deal? I mean,
we got all the details coming up with the 4 before you hit the door. Also, that amazing story of that 11-year-old that walked across the country to find his family, and your 11-year-old probably can't even find the vacuum in the house. So that's like
my 14-year-old doesn't even flush.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We got problems.
I got that going on in my house.
Right.
Feels good to be back into the flow. What'd you do while you were gone? Anything fun?
I was telling you, I did everything. I have never had this feeling where you enter a week or the rest of your life, I guess, right now without anything to do. I have nothing to do. I went through all of our closets. I spring cleaned. I made $70 by consigning all my stuff, which never happens. They're always like, I could offer you $9.76. I'm like, okay, $70. Did a random trip this past weekend to Duluth.
Oh, right on.
And that was a lot of fun. Stopped at, I got to give a shout out to Freddy's and Mora. Wouldn't normally stop there. We were going to find a different place to eat, but we pulled in. It was like a mom and pop diner.
Nice.
It was delicious. And the service staff was amazing. So I got to give a shout out to them. So it was good. Good little trip.
My week basically entailed getting up whenever I wanted. No alarm. Take our towels, throw them on a chair. Go eat some breakfast. Go back to that chair, lay on the towel for a while. Get up if I wanted. Jump in the pool. Go grab a cup of coffee.
Yep.
Wait till noon. That's when the bar opened. It was a family resort. And I was very, very weird because the very first morning I was like, I want a mimosa or a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, no.
The guy at the bar goes, too early, sir.
I wonder why.
Because it was a family place. Like, it was all ages. When we go with our trip, it's only adults, so they can serve booze anytime.
Well, we've gone to an all-family resort, like in Mazatlan, and that one served all day. So that's weird.
And then it was just laid by the pool all day. One day, we took a trip to a little island on a catamaran. Otherwise, we just chill. I'll tell you what. You guys, if you're going to travel overseas, there is one moment that is gut-wrenching, and it is the moment where 24 hours from your plane, you've got a COVID test.
Oh, God.
Now, not one of us, there's 11 people on this trip. Not one of us had any symptoms whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I sat there, my gut was in such a knot because if you test positive, you got to test negative to get on the plane.
Yeah.
And if you test positive, they quarantine you until you test negative again, so you're stuck there by yourself.
I know what face you probably made because I saw it a couple of weeks ago in Mexico with the Party Plane to Paradise. I've never seen you so nervous about something.
Wrecked. And it's not like I was going around licking doorknobs or anything like that. Like, I was very safe, had my mask on every time we were around a bunch of people and stuff. But man, I was just, there's this feeling of my whole family's going to go back to the United States and I'm going to be stuck stuck here. Oh, but everybody got through, so it was good. We heard the Nebraska tourism spot.
I was watching TV and I was watching it, and I love Animal Planet and I love that stuff. So I was like, oh, that looks beautiful. And then I find out it's about the crane migration, and it's the only thing that the Nebraska Tourism Board could come up with for their commercial to get people there. Which, I mean, should we Google what Lincoln has to offer? I feel like it's a pretty big city.
Omaha has the College World Series.
I drove through Ogallala once. That was an experience. So we want to know your anti-Minnesota ad campaign.
They could have even done Nebraska.
Yeah.
We carry the Playhouse out of Minnesota. That would have been better.
That is a huge draw.
That would have been better than the sand crane thing. So we thought, all right, well, what if we were trying to keep people out of Minnesota?
So Ashley wrote Minnesota, where yesterday it was 60 and today your car doors won't open. They're frozen shut. Ryan says, come for vacation, leave on probation.
I think that was San Diego had one of those once that I had a friend that was working radio there, and they actually were running one of those kind of spots.
I thought that was for like PCB, like people would go down there and come on vacation.
Beach, sure.
This one from Brandon, Minnesota, come for the high taxes, leave with an empty wallet. Durr.
You got a great one. We definitely need to hear it. Ron, you get the final say today. Let's set it up. Minnesota.
So cold you can die.
If you find yourself... think about this. You're like, guys, where do we want to do our summer vacation this year? And you come upon the pitch for the state of Nebraska.
Some people see Nebraska as nothing but flyover country. Over 500,000 sandhill cranes might disagree. Because every March they land here for a closer look at things, and thousands of people gather to soak in the unmitigated awesomeness of a crane migration. There are those who will always think our state is strictly for the birds. Then again, you might disagree. Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
That was
they're not even trying.
A draw of a straw. And guess who got to draw that straw? Linnell from the Nebraska Tourism Board. I guarantee they were sitting around there like, we got to figure out something.
Hey,
there are a lot of crane lovers out there. And the migration is big. So this is where we're going to spin it. And when it comes to Minnesota, if you had to pick something that would not attract people, because that doesn't make me want to.
We all know what we love about this area, right? But
Yeah.
what would be something you could put on a brand new tourism ad that would make people not want to visit Minnesota?
So I want you to play the loon after I read all of these texts, okay? So the first one is from 1346. Minnesota, we welcome flannel and an axe. Okay. Kelsey says, Minnesota, where everyone is wearing clothing with the state of Minnesota on it. I love that one, Kelsey. So true.
And it says home on it?
Yep.
I like that.
And then Tanner says, Minnesota, bring your waving hand. You betcha. That's so true. We had a guy move here from the West Coast, and he's like, everyone waves when you drive by.
Well, because
everyone waves.
You might know that person, and they were going to be mad if you didn't wave at them.
I thought that there was Carl. It wasn't Carl.
How about mine? Would this work?
Okay.
Minnesota. Kirby and Prince are dead. There's no reason to stop by.
Jeez.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Sorry.
Mine would be Minnesota, where you can ride the Ross say prairie chicken.
I don't think they allow that anymore.
You can when no one's looking, I think.
What would your anti-Minnesota ad be?
Just to let you know, it is 6:36. Hopefully you're not running late for anything.
How many clocks in your house still aren't adjusted?
Oh, God, all of them.
Really?
No, that's Derek's job. I'm sure that he's on it.
I had this conversation. We're chilling in the pool Friday afternoon. I started asking every dude in the pool.
Whose job is it?
I go, hey, everyone raise their hand if it's your job at home to make sure that when daylight savings time rolls around that your family's on time. And all these guys are hands up. I go, when did we incur this? Because in my house,
I
my
think
wife...
it was when like the woman decided to do everything else. So then the guy's like, let's add to your small
I'll tell you
list.
when it happened is when you used to have to take a clock off the wall.
Yep.
And then twist it in the back and then put it back up there because somebody'd say, get the ladder, Pa.
We only have two things things that would display time. Our microwave and then our stove, and one is above the other.
Really?
So it's a quick one.
We have this giant, it's I bet 2 feet wide clock.
Yeah.
That hangs in our entryway. That's almost a 2-person job to get down and then twist it. And then this is the true laziness test of a home. Everybody in our home uses the gym.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clock in the gym that hangs above a window, and it's a turn dial clock. It's got a seconds clock because it's good for, sets and stuff like that. But that clock now will be off for 6 months.
Yeah.
Nobody will touch it.
Why won't you just do it? It's your job.
It's my job to sit there and watch how lazy my family truly is. And every once in a while I'll comment. I'll be like, it's so weird to be done with my workout an hour early today. And my wife will go, really good job for you. Like she'll go right past her.
Yeah.
She doesn't want anything to do with it. Daylight savings time will mess my family up if I don't get up and move those clocks.
Evidently going to take about 3.5 days, they say, for like your body to get used to daylight savings time. You're going to feel tired and groggy and in your case, irritable. And so now you have an excuse for a few days. You can say daylight savings time.
Blame it on DST.
Yeah. And so do you have like a hack? Do you have a sneaky trick that you use to overcome daylight savings time?
I think it's a little bit easier when you get that extra hour because, when you fall back. But the spring ahead one is really, really weird. Now, Ellie, I appreciate you holding. What'd y'all do to make sure that you're up on time?
I got a puppy.
Oh, that'll do it.
It doesn't matter how much you want to sleep, the puppy needs to go potty.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Time change doesn't matter when you wake up to a puppy that needs to go potty.
See, and our dog, anytime you make movement, our dog goes straight for the door, and we hung some of those jingle bells on there, so she always, rings the bells when she wants to go out. And the problem with this time of the year is we've got all these animals in the woods, and our dog will sprint into the woods and chase all the animals.
Yeah.
But if it's an hour later, usually they're done feeding and they've moved down, so that's not that big of a deal.
I don't know if you have any sneaky tricks that you use. You have any hacks to help people out. It is the first full day of daylight savings time that people are going to need to. Well, no, second, right?
Jeez,
Yesterday
way
was
to screw
full
them up.
I don't know.
As we push the clock ahead an hour, it takes how long?
Takes them 3.5 days. Like your body is going to take 3.5 days, and I felt it last night. Like I was supposed to be completely remmed out, and by 10 p.m. I was still, my eyes, I would like shut them and then they would like pop open like a cartoon where they look like little shutters, and I'm just like, come on, girl.
I was ready for bed. And then our security system kept popping off some weird messages and beeping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I called him and I go, hey, what's up? Oh, well, there's a nationwide outage.
Oh, lovely.
I go, so what? And he's like, yeah, there's a nationwide. We don't have an ETA on it. I said, so what's going to happen? Like every 12 minutes, my security system's going to go off?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. He goes, well, you can shut the chime off. And I said, so if somebody does break in, then what? Oh, then the cops will be alerted. The police will show up. I go, so not only will I not know if there's an intruder in my home, but now the cops are going to show up with guns loaded at 3:15 in the morning and me standing in my underwear?
Yeah.
He goes, well, yeah, that's what would happen. I go, is there another option? Could you fix it? And then I'm like, how many people that are bad humans would know about the nationwide outage in security systems and then just look for that particular alarm system, the signs outside your doors? Oh, well, I guess I'll break into that place.
So I've been like on tilt because in our backyard there have been like a bunch of footsteps, and normally I'm like, what is going on? And I've brought it up several times. And Derek has never mentioned that they're his. I am like, what the? I've been so nervous. I've checked the basement like to make sure all the windows are locked, the alarm's set. And I was so nervous. He goes, oh, those ones? Those are mine. Thanks.
It's probably those kids that listen to the rap music.
I guess so. After playing their Fortnite.
Our big question was that, how do you adapt? You got a little secret or something like that? Jill, what do you do?
Lots and lots of caffeine.
Same.
Probably go through about a pot of coffee by myself in about 2 hours.
Nice. That's working.
Sometimes I'm just a jittery mess.
Lay off. What is mine? My triple shot from Starbucks is 16 and a half full ounces. So I got that in my body right now.
I grabbed some coffee and immediately I knew I was going to be tired this morning. So I grabbed an energy drink out of the vending machine.
Yeah.
And I got it on hold. It's over here on the side just in case I start fading.
Let's start with some good news.
I've got good news and good news.
Tell them the good news.
Good news? Good news.
Okay.
Let's hear it. It's good.
Oh, my God. All right. So this outdoor vlogger was in Hawaii getting praise for rescuing a dog from 25 feet inside of a live volcano.
Right on.
All right, another happy ending. We got Maka out of this hole. Thank goodness for the kids over here. They had the GPS tracker on the dog. Very smart.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's how they found the doggy.
That's crazy. You know, I read a stat, or actually Derek read it to me in the car ride home, that your body would just float on top of lava. Did you know that? It wouldn't sink under lava. It's like salt water.
Really?
Just float on top, and you would just burn to death. So this dog was rescued, and that is what's good.
You're such a jerk today.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.